Hey ladies, what's going on? So I am coming to you ladies with a 3 week review since I've had my daughter. She's 3 weeks today, this Sunday. And I just wanted to just give you ladies a follow up of how I've been doing, how Symphony has been doing right now. She's nursing. And how I've been doing far as that. I had no idea, first of all, that nursing was going to be easy. I really thought it was going to be a little struggle. I thought it was going to be hard. I thought at one point in time, like, my nipples were going to be in agonizing pain. But it's actually really easy, fun, and bonding at the same time. And what I mean by easy is that when she's hungry, all I have to do is just whip out a boob and that's it. She eats on demand, and then when done, she's done. She would feed for anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours, depending on how hungry she is. I've also realized too that when my boobs fill up and they really are rock hard, I try to wake her up like, come on, Symphony, it's time to eat. Um, Also too, like at the beginning your boobs hurt, and I mean, well, not your boobs but your nipples may hurt or whatever like that. But once you use the cream or whatever like that, and your nipples go through the whole sucking part, and if it's hurting, it gets used to it to the point that it doesn't hurt anymore. So when she latches on right away, I'm just like, okay, I'm cool with it. Also too, I posted on 40 weeks to go form. Excuse me, y'all, my eye. I posted on the 40 weeks to go form or whatever like that. That I really thought that I was going to be really embarrassed by nursing. Like, oh, let me excuse myself and go to the bathroom now. I have a Muslim nursing cloth or whatever you want to call it, a nursing cover, and I use that when I'm out in public or in public places or whatever like that to go ahead and nurse her. So it's not as what I so I don't have no shame in my game of actually nursing her or whatever like that. One thing I do notice is that she has her personality where she feel like you taking too long. She'll go off and be looking at you like, "How dare you take long with getting me my milk?" So it's just really crazy to see her little smiles and her when she sleep or when she's awake and she smiles a little bit. So it's like, wow. Um, I've been basically giving you ladies like the update and everything on how I'm feeling. Okay, far as my healing process, I feel like I'm at 100%. I'm good. Um, on top of the incisions, like on top of the scar, it just feels like a little, I want to say a lump or whatever like that. And not a lump, but it just feels like, I want to say keloid, but it just feels like a hump or something like that down there. But my incision is really healing perfectly. You can't even tell. So I showed some of you ladies that on 40 weeks to go, and you guys were like, wow, it looks good. So, I used to think that C-sections, the scars were like huge gashes or whatever. And I was looking at some posters on different forums or whatever like that, and there was one forum about a new perspective on C-sections and the scarring, because some women wish that they could have their babies natural, but they end up having C-sections, so they feel a certain way like they were robbed from having those experiences. Me, on the other hand, I just thank God that they're able to do C-sections. Going through the simple fact of dealing with three losses and two that I had naturally, well, natural via through the birth canal or whatever like that, vaginally, and for me to be able to actually have a C-section and walk away with a baby, oh my gosh, I there is no comparison. I don't feel like I'm robbed. I thank God for it. I would do this I would do it again. I really would. Would I do it right now anytime soon? No. But I would, every time I look at Symphony, I'm like, Dag, I do want another one. I really do, because they're so cute. Um, the beginning, after the surgery, like right after the surgery, I was like, oh no, this is too much. But then when I look back at it, it really wasn't that much. I mean, it was quick. I I remember feeling like after like during my C-section when they had to take the baby away to the other room and they were getting me all prepped up and stuff. Not prepped up, but getting me sewed back up. I remember feeling like before I had the surgery, I was thinking, how long is it going to take for them to put me all back together so I can be with my baby when they do that? And I remember being on the operating table, and I was just like, "Gosh, won't they hurry up? I want to see her." So that was the only thing that I would say that was just like, wow. It's just that I really wanted to see my baby some more, and I just kind of felt like, dang, they're taking too long, but they weren't. I mean, it happened very quickly, and I was really really drugged up. So would I do it again? Heck to the yes. Do I feel robbed before because I had a C-section? Heck to the no, because I got robbed 3 times by losing my babies, and I had two of them natural. So for me to walk away out of the hospital with a baby and a C-section, please. How do I feel now that I have a baby? Um, Now that I'm a full-time mom, sometimes it feels like a dream, and then sometimes it's just like, dang, we really went through that. Like, we really had losses before. I mean, because everything feels like a haze in a way. Like, did we really just go through this for the last 3 years, and now we have our daughter? And when we were at our Bible study today, of course we gave our praise report, and a lot of people that have been praying for us, they were so happy to see Symphony, and they were taking pictures and stuff because they really kept us in prayer. Um, but I remember just sitting in church and I was just like, wow. It was days when I would go to church when I wasn't pregnant, and I would be so crushed in my heart and in my spirit. And I would just be praying and seeking God and asking Him why. And to be my first time back at church, because if you guys know, 3 weeks ago, Symphony was actually born after we left church. So for me to be in church and be like, wow, I got a baby with me. Like, it's so crazy to look at my family now, like to look at my husband and to look at my daughter, and she's just right there in the flesh. It's so like new, and at the same time it's just like it's mind blowing because I always, I reflect what we went through, and then also just capture and just inhale in the moment that we have right now. And I don't take any of that lightly. People, we talk about the postpartum because in after you have a baby, yes, you do deal with the postpartum. But I think with me, I'm dealing with it in a way where I'm so grateful. I could be so tired. Like, she may not want to go to bed, or she may get up early, or sometimes she may get up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I got my rest. I am so grateful that she's there. Um, and remember when I was telling you with the last video, and I may sound like I'm going all over the place, but I just hopefully I can get everything else out. Remember I was telling you in the last video that her throwing up or whatever. Well, my husband's cousin was explaining to me, we were texting back and forth, and she said, well, is it spit up or throw up? Because throw up is totally different from spit up. And I realized, yeah, she's spitting up, she's not throwing up. And one of you ladies was saying just to sit her up for about a good 20 minutes. And that's what I've been doing. So thank you. I haven't had a chance to really comment on some of your comments, but I read every last one of them. So I was like, yeah, that's right. I need to sit her up. So I sat her up, and that really seems to help. But I do remember one time when she started spitting up, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I stayed up that whole entire night while she was sleeping, and I was just staring at her. And if I feel her look like she's about to, I will snatch her up and I'm patting her back and everything like that. So that's just a whole new thing of my fear, I suppose, is, and I know some of you are going to say God hasn't given us a spirit of fear. I understand that. But I'm human. Sometimes things go through my mind where I'm like, I'm looking at her breathing and I'm pushing her and moving her, and then she'll move and, spaz, and I'm like, oh, you're fine. Or just like how I used to do when she was in my stomach, I'll push her around just to make sure. And also, too, I don't think I explained this to or even said anything to you ladies about it. I'm not sure. But when they did the emergency C-section, I was having Braxton Hicks. But I had been having Braxton Hicks like that whole week, but they wasn't as painful. And they started to get a little painful, but they still wasn't that painful. Like when I really look back at it, I really was going to try to wait for another 2 days for my C-section date. Because I know my C-section date was due for July the 28th, but I ended up having her July the 26th. And when I called the doctor, and I think this is nothing but the Lord, that my doctor wasn't there. And I know if I would have called him, he would have been like, well, let's wait and see what's going to happen in an hour and give a call back. But she was just like, how many weeks are you? Well, just come on in. And when I came in, she wasn't there, but they already had my name and everything. And I thought they were going to send me home. So I went up there by myself, which was crazy for me to just go up there by myself. But anyway, do I need to change your diaper? But anyway, when I went up there, they put me on a machine, and I think I explained this in the last video. But they went ahead and they put me on a machine, and I told you that everything was going good, and then I was hearing my daughter do like her heart rate, and I was like, "Excuse me, is that her heart rate?" And the nurse was like, snatched the paper out and everything. And they was like, hold on, turn to the side, turn to this, and then her heart rate went back up to do. And they said the doctor's on the way, and you're going to be delivered today. And that's when I was like, what do you mean I'm going to be delivered today? So this was not my doctor. And all of a sudden she showed up. She was a very young lady, about young Korean Chinese lady. Very nice, very pretty and very nice. And I was looking at her like, do you know how to do a C-section? You know I got a tack on, right? Don't touch my tack. And she was like, I'm not going to touch your tack. I'm asking, do you know what you're doing? She was like, yes, we're going to have to deliver her today. And I'm crying because, my husband's not there, and I'm just going off and everything. But I really thank God that they were able to do that as fast as they were. Because when they pulled Symphony out, I don't know if I told you guys this, but the cord was wrapped around Symphony's neck twice. And she did mention that, like, yeah, it's a good thing we did the way we did because the cord was wrapped around her neck twice. And I remember there was a picture when Symphony was like, and there's a picture I showed you ladies, and there was something right here around her neck, and I kept looking at it, but I was like, I hope that ain't the cord. That's not the cord. No, that's not the cord. And I remember my sister asking me that too in the picture. Is that her cord? And I was like, no, I think I was in denial. But throughout the whole pregnancy, I did do the kick count, not counting like 1, 2, 3, but I would push her to make sure I can feel her move. And if I didn't feel her move, then I knew something wasn't right. I would try to drink water. I would, my stomach would harden, but I wouldn't feel her. So I will say this, that if you feel like you're not feeling a lot of movement, and even if it is Braxton Hicks and it's coming too much to go in, because I was having Braxton Hicks, but I was feeling like, that's normal. And I know some women with TACs, they would say I contracted the whole time and I made it all the way up here, but you still need to go in. And, what if we would have waited those 2 days? Would my daughter be here? I'm not sure. I just thank God that everything turned out perfect, that she was born perfect. She 5 pounds 6 ounces, in which I thought she was going to be well over 7 pounds, but that was just perfect. She didn't need any NICU time. Um, Now that I'm reflecting about what happened, also too, what I didn't say is after the C-section, they did put these things on my legs. They're kind of like they warm your legs or whatever like that, and they're supposed to be on your legs so you won't get any blood clots. They did put that on when I got to the room. I do remember, and I'm trying to just reflect everything that went on, because when I look back at some of the videos, I didn't explain it to you ladies. But there's also, when you have the C-section or whatever like that, or even if you're giving birth vaginally, I'm thinking, there was this nurse where I had to get up and sit on the toilet or whatever like that. And she had like a squirt bottle, and she would squirt your cookies, your vagina, and just make sure everything was clean, and help you out with putting the pad and everything on. So that was really helpful. And they also had, I didn't realize until later on that I had a catheter in me. And then, and I just told the nurse, because she was like, we're going to remove the catheter. I said, please do not snatch that catheter out. Because last year when I had Harmony, that nurse was so rude. She snatched the catheter out, and I swear it was like as if somebody tried to snatch my clitoris off of me. It was so bad. So the nurse was like, I don't know, we're going to take it out gently on a count of 3. And she took it out gently, and it was fine. Um, Everything was good. Up the 3rd day, it was just really painful. But right now, like I said, I really feel good. I am now starting to experience some constipation. And the reason why is because I am still taking prenatal vitamins due to the simple fact that I'm breastfeeding. So, yeah, I did have a horrible bowel movement today. But I feel, other than that, I feel normal. Some people are like, how are you doing with the C-section? I'm like, I'm fine. Girl, you've been going around your job already. You need to be resting. I'm like, I feel really good. I'm not taking any pain meds. I feel really, really good. Um, I feel like I can just do anything right now. I feel good. I feel really good. I do sometimes feel a little tired, and that's because of my late night shifts with dealing with Symphony. And sometimes it could be me trying to wake her up. Um, but getting back to what I'm trying to explain, how do I feel now that I do have a living child with me? Um, it just feels like, wow. Like, I be looking at her and I be like, dang, you gonna be with me for a while. Like, you gonna be under my roof until you under me and daddy's roof until you like 18. Like, we gonna be around for a minute. Like, I be like, Dad, you belong to me. And it's just so precious that sometimes I be like, Dad, she's 3 weeks. This is going too fast. This is going way too fast. And I remember feeling like my pregnancy was going so slow up until I hit 24. Then it started flying. After 35, it really went. After 35, it really went. But like I said, it's just been a crazy, great experience since I've had Symphony, and I'm really, really enjoying being a mother. You okay?
So for the hamper clean, or does it need to be washed?
It needs to be washed.
Take care of it.
Thanks, babe. You might want to get them clothes in the bathroom then.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm
y'all.
gonna go jogging in a bit.
Hubby's helping doing the laundry. Not helping, he's doing the laundry since I'm nursing and everything like that. So that's been a huge thing. Is that he's been really stepping up with the vacuuming, the cleaning, and stuff like that. Um, but I'm slowly but surely trying to maneuver and get around with her in my arms and stuff like that. But it is different. It is very different when you get up in the morning and you look and you're like, dang, I got this newborn baby that's sitting right here. Like, it's like you think like this is not a dream. Like, this is for real. So I can honestly say, like, for all of you women that ever dealt with a loss or that's just experienced the loss, and you are starting from ground zero, or you're on your way to get a surgery done, or you just feel like, is this going to happen for me? Ladies, you have to stick it out, stick in there. Don't give up hope. Don't give up faith. You know what I'm saying? And I just really thought at one point in time that I was not going to be able to carry a child. I really thought like, um, I remember when I lost Harmony, people were like, maybe you should get your sister to carry your baby. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my sister. She's so sweet. But her and her baby father be arguing and stuff. I'm like, I couldn't even imagine my sister carrying my child. But I remember looking at an article of a woman and she got her mother to carry her child. As if anything, I probably asked my mom. But I just didn't want that. I wanted to be able to experience going full term and having my husband's child. I didn't want to make that mistake that Sarah made. And I know some of y'all like, who's Sarah? But if you know the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. Because Sarah, God told Sarah she was going to have a baby. But she just, she didn't believe it and ended up getting her handmaiden and her husband, had sex with her maid and end up having a baby. And after that, it just backfired because she ended up having her own child anyway. So I just wanted that. And some people may have to go through other things in order to have children. And sometimes it may not be in the books. Some people may have to adopt, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that um that you have a huge heart when you go and adopt children, because my husband's adopted. And um he looks at his parents, they're his parents. I look at his parents, those are my in-laws. And it takes guts and a lot of love to do that. If a mother's a mother, regardless if you carry or have or adopt or whatever you're doing. But I just, really thought at one point in time, maybe that was the route. And I told Matthew as well that, we would like to adopt as well. But I remember when I lost Harmony that I was so almost desperate to have a baby that I even looked up far as adoption. But adoption, I mean, if you got 40 grand to blow on adoption, then okay. But some of that stuff is just, it's so expensive, and some people will be so willing to abort their children before they even give it up to for adoption. Well, adoption, because if you ask me, I just think it's selfish because they're like, I don't want it and I don't want anybody else to have it. But I'm just keeping it real of what I went through and how I feel right now that I have a child. I am very grateful that I have my daughter. I am. I don't take anything lightly. Even if I'm like, Dad, let me give mommy some rest, I'd be like, fine, you up. I much rather deal with a crying baby than to be in my bed for the fourth year crying because I had a loss. I remember um, the songs I used to listen to, Aretha Franklin, Martha, Don't You Weep. And I felt like those gospel songs were talking to me. But when I lost my babies and seeking other women that went through what I went through. And it's so amazing because a lot of the women that I know, um, just about all of them, um, have experienced a loss. Like a lot of my friends, my new friends, they experienced losses. And like 80% of them right now have just went to term and have their babies. I have my friend Anna. She's due in like 3 more weeks. You guys see my friend Marissa. She just got her TAC, and I know soon she's going to be pregnant. I have my friend Shannon. She just found out she's pregnant in New York. She lost her baby boy Sion. Like, these are women that understand the struggle and know. But it's so amazing how I can see somebody's journey and I see what they went through. And I'm like, dang. And I was just talking to my friend Marilyn the other day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we went to term. We got babies. Like, this is crazy. And we looked back at it and reflected like this was some real stuff that we went through. So, ladies, if you are just experiencing a loss, it's not over. It is not over. You can only take as much as you can take. And I mean that. Some women, I've dealt with 3 losses, but the next chick, she dealt with 10. And I may say, "Ooh, I can't deal with that." But like I said, you can only take on what you can take. But getting back to how I feel now that I have my daughter, I'm just like, wow. The other day, like a couple of days ago, I was in the shower and I just thought like how beautiful Symphony is and how sweet she is and innocent she is, that even when she cried, I I don't want her crying. I just want to soothe her and I want her to know that mommy's here. And then I started thinking about my harmony and my melody and how they were so underdeveloped that they couldn't even cry. And I just started to cry, and I was just like, my babies couldn't even cry, and mommy did the best that I could to console them before they went on to be with the Lord. And I just realized like how precious. I mean, I knew how precious, but to see her, to behold in Symphony, and at certain times and certain angles, I can see like a little bit of her sister Melody, or a little bit of harmony. Um, and so, but like I said, I'm blessed. I'm happy, and I do think about my babies that went on to be with the Lord even more, but not too much of a sorrow. I don't. It just make you realize how special babies are, and so I just wanted to let you ladies know what was going on. My C-section is healing perfectly. Would I do this again? Heck yeah. Would I do it anytime soon? No. Like I said before, it's probably going to be like 2 years or so. The nursing is very easy. I just have to remember that, I like to worry about everything, which I shouldn't be worried about everything, but I do. I'm worried about, oh, why is she coughing, why is she sneezing, is her poo supposed to look like this? Is she around too many things or whatever? Like, it's just stuff like that. But and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going so fast. She's so small. I don't want you to grow so big. But then it's like they're like, a lot of women would be like, just wait when they get a little bigger, and they start giggling and laughing. I'm like, oh, I'm looking so forward to that. And their little personalities kicking in, and they're ready to do stuff and crawl and walk. And so it's just a great experience. Um, a great experience. I haven't had like postpartum depression moments. If I'm upset about something, it'll probably be focused on something else, but it has nothing to do with her, or I'm feeling like I'm burnt down, run down, or anything like that. And I think the reason why my postpartum is a little different is because I dealt with the postpartum before with no baby and milk and bleeding and yearning for a baby. I mean, I think I remember last year when my milk came in, I was like, just give me any baby right about now so I can breastfeed, like just to fill a little bit of that void up. And so this go around, it's not like that to me. It's just like, oh, I gotta get up. Oh, baby's right here. And sometimes I'll be like, dang, I'm losing sleep. But I'll take this anytime, 20 times over, 20 times over, y'all. Um, Other things too that I would say is I'll probably do a review on some other products later on, like my breast friend and other little things that I use around the house and everything like that. What I found really easy when I'm giving her baths and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm like I said, I'm just wanted to give you ladies an update to let you know how I'm doing. Other than that, I feel pretty good. I think sooner or later, probably within the next month and a half, I'm gonna really start working out, juicing a little bit more, just so I can tone it up or whatever. Get back into my Zumba workouts, or my husband's been really jogging and getting in shape, so I'm feeling like, dang, I need to get up there. But what I'm starting to notice is that all of my old clothes I'm fitting back into, so I know I haven't gotten on the scale, but I know I didn't really gain that much weight. I know that for a fact because I'm able to fit back into my smalls and I still have room. I got a lot of compliments today. They was like, oh, you look great. And I was like, thanks. And it was like, I can't believe, like, you sure you just had? I'm like, yeah, but it's been 3 weeks. I would say that by the second week of a C-section, you should be feeling better, you know. And I feel like my surgeon, my doctor, she did a really phenomenal job. I haven't had my follow up yet, in which I should be having my 6 week follow up, but next week I'll be having a follow up as well. So other than that, I am just so grateful to God that I have my daughter, and just letting you ladies know. Hold on, letting you ladies know, don't give in, don't give up, because sometimes I mean, it's a lot of women who have given up, you know what I'm saying, because they felt like this is not in the books for me, or I can't take no more. And like I said, you can only take what you can take. You see what I'm saying? You can't, if you feel like God is giving you the urge to have and to go, then I would pursue it. But nobody said it was going to be easy, but they daggone sure didn't say it was going to be hard. So I just wanted to give you ladies an update. Also, thank you so much. Some of you been leaving just really encouraging comments and everything like that. I haven't been able to really sit and clap clap. I'm trying to type and I'm like, oh man, like this is not working right now. But I do read all of the comments, and I just wanted to thank you ladies so very much. Um, and also, remember, we have the group 40 Weeks to Go. So if you are on Facebook, look up 40 Weeks to Go. Some of you just had your babies. Congratulations. Some of you BFPs, congrats. Some of you are IVF, IUIs. And I'm like, come on, come on, come on. Let's get this. Let's get this, y'all. You know. And I appreciate all of the encouragement and all of the feedback too. But until then, ladies, all I can say is ta-ta for now. I'll do another review on some of the products probably in another day or so. I may just do one later on today. So if you want to email me, make sure you email me at 40weekstogo@gmail.com. You can find the support group 40 Weeks to Go. If you just dealt with a loss, and if it was dealing with a failed TVC, make sure y'all look at the group ABBA Loopers. And that really talks about the transdermal cerclages on there. So until then, ladies, ta-ta for now.